Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast, where I'm going to help you become the CEO of your life. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, aka Keisha the Electrician. And today it is episode 50 of Alpha Intuition. I am so thrilled and so excited. I cannot believe I made it to 50 episodes, y'all. Look, if this is your first time watching, please make sure that you like and subscribe and share this with somebody that you just almost like. All right, so I'm going to jump right into it today. It's like this is my 50th episode, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I finally made it here. I remember episode one. Episode one was, look, y'all can't even find that one. That's like, you got to go dig in the trenches for Alpha Intuition because, yeah, that episode was not what I expected it to be. But I have been on a journey, oh my goodness, over these last 49 to make it to episode 50. So I'm just going to share with you guys just some of the mistakes that I made when I became an entrepreneur. And I think about this journey that I've been on for 50 episodes. It is, man, it's it's really wild. So let me see here. I am going to talk about the first one here, which is just my entrepreneurship and my mindset. There were just so many things that I really didn't even think about. But I'm going to share with you guys just the top 5 mistakes that I made when I became an entrepreneur. So we're talking about mistake number 1, which is my just entrepreneurship and my mindset. I didn't count the cost before I took the leap. I really had no idea how much it costs to become an entrepreneur. I had no idea. So I know you guys know my journey, but I share it with you guys for the ones that don't. I'm an electrician by trade. I've been an electrician for actually 30 years this month. I started back in 95, August of 95 as an apprentice for IBW. Then I went on in my career and got into maintenance, decided to climb the corporate ladder as an executive. And, I got into training, technical training. And then my position was eliminated last year. So I said, you know what, it was a nice severance package that I had received. And I said, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to invest it in myself. And I invested in a lot of programs. I did, didn't really do a lot of research on the front end. I figured before, I didn't even know I was going to be eliminated from corporate. I wasn't eliminated. I was elevated. I didn't know that I was going to be elevated from corporate into entrepreneurship. And so I took my severance package and I did things like went to training programs for entrepreneurship, learned, my Next Level Speakers Academy. I joined the mastermind for UOU, became an extreme execution coach, did all these different things. And if I could do it all over again, what I would have done is I would have invested that money first. I would have invested the money, learned more about investing, and then taken the profit from investing and added it back into my business. Because, like I said, entrepreneurship is pretty expensive. There are some things that you are going to pay for that you don't even realize. First of all, you're going to pay for the bills that you incurred. So you had to just look at your budget and create a budget and see what needs to stay and what needs to go. But when I created my original message, which was becoming the CEO of my life, and CEO stands for Create, Eliminate, Organize, I had to create some systems for myself. I had to eliminate some things in my life, and then I had to become organized. Now, organization, you guys know that's my superpower. My mind works like Tetris. I can organize things. I traveling all the time over the years with 4 children, you learn how to organize things well, whether it's closets, the refrigerators, packing luggage, cars, whatever the case may be. So I've learned my organizational skills very well. But like I said, I didn't count the cost before I took that leap. So that's probably one thing that I think that I would do over. And then I had to have the right mindset. You have to be patient. You have to know that success does not come overnight in any field, especially not in entrepreneurship. You have to understand that it takes time. Just like as an electrician, I spent 5 years in an apprenticeship program, had to have 8,000 hours before we could even take the test to become a journeyman electrician. And same thing with entrepreneurship. You got to get those reps in. You have to walk before you can crawl. And I know, I talk to people who say that they're electricians. First question I always ask them is, have you ever been shocked? If they say no, I just shake my head because you hadn't done enough work. If you've never been shocked before, that lets me know that you have not put enough reps in the electrical field to even consider yourself to be an electrician. So the same thing in entrepreneurship. And somebody asked a question early on in my career: um, Have I ever had? Have I ever failed on stage? First, I said no, and and it did happen. But the first time somebody asked me and I said no, I'm sure that let them know that I hadn't put in enough reps. If I had never had one failure on stage, there was a problem. So when you think about becoming an entrepreneurship, just know that you will have those failures, but you don't stop. You use them as opportunities to continue to grow. You figure out what went wrong, figure out the root cause, and then you continue to climb and you do things differently the second time. You don't repeat the same process over and over again. So that was the first mistake that I made. All right. So the second one here would be pricing and self-worth. I believe that I thought that I had to have everything before I could sell any of my products. So as an extreme execution coach, one thing that I have learned is that about myself is that I'm an air traffic controller in that world. And if you guys understand that, there's 4 different personality types, and my personality type is to be a perfectionist. So I overanalyzed everything. I was always overanalyzing stuff. Um, and when it came to my pricing, it's like, I thought I had to have the website, the logo, the digital products, EPK, which stands for electronic press kit. I thought I had to have all of this. I thought I had to have my messaging. I thought I had to have all these things. And the only thing I really needed to have was just the will to just do it. I didn't have to have everything. I just had to get started. And I was giving myself excuses to not get started. So that was mistake number 2 that I made, was just my pricing and my self-worth. And your pricing comes along with that. So it's like, I didn't have to have all of these things, but I had to have something. And, you're not going to run out the gate thinking you're going to charge $10,000, $20,000 when nobody knows who you are. So make a name for yourself, show up for yourself if you want other people to show up for you. Let me see here. And yeah, man, what can I say? It's like the first dollar that you make, it doesn't always have to be about your branding. The first dollar that you make will more than likely be because someone decides to pour into you. So don't be afraid to pour into other people if you want someone to pour into you. So price yourself accordingly, and don't charge people what you wouldn't pay yourself. That's what I would say. So the prices that I ask myself, would I pay this? Would I spend this money on someone else's program? Let me close my window up here. I see this light. Hold on one second, y'all. All right, so I have to ask myself, would I pay the same thing that I'm charging? So that's now some people may say something different, but not me. I'm not gonna charge you guys something I'm not willing to pay myself. All right, so that was mistake number 2. All right. Mistake number 3 was owning my advantage. And then what I mean by that is that I overthought my audience instead of leaning into my gift. The advantage that I know that I have is that I'm an electrician by trade. I have been an electrician for 30 years. And that was something that I kind of shied away from when I first became an entrepreneur. I looked, they say that the best person to serve is the past version of you. And I didn't consider that. I was kind of everywhere. I was thinking about all these different things that I wanted to talk about. And yes, I have a lot of different gifts inside of me. But the one thing that I know that I could talk about in my sleep is anything that has to do with the technical world. I love it. It's something that's in me. And so that's something that I knew that I had to niche down to, because we all have different gifts inside of us. But just knowing that I had to figure out, I had to embrace myself. I had to embrace that I was a female electrician, that there was technicians out there that needed to understand how to go from being a technician to being a leader, or understanding that they were already leaders. So that's something that I niched down to, because I felt like technicians just needed to hear that. So, just owning my advantage and not overthinking. So that's something else that I would recommend for mistake number 3 that I made, was to not overthink and know that your audience is the past version of you. It is someone that you used to be, and now you know how to take them from point A to point B. All right. And the next one here, is brand building and alignment. That was my mistake number 4. My message, like I said, was all over the place. I was thinking about colors. I was thinking about all these different things and things that I had to do. And, you know, which is still good. You got to have these colors need to mean something to you, but they also have to resonate with your audience and resonate with the public. So I think about, brand building. And, you know, one day I was just, thinking about what brand could I represent the most. And once again, it always led back to the trades. And it was about my mindset. So my CEO mindset, I had it and I kept it. And I tried to change it several times. I tried to get into, what are some other things I tried to get into? Oh, you know, I'm not sure. I can't even think of it. Like, was it like, I thought about doing weight loss because I have lost weight. Went from 277 pounds down to, I'm like 194 now. So yes, I've lost 83, 84 pounds. And that's really good. I could teach people, I could talk to people about how to do that. But that just goes into being true to who I am. Um, but that's still not the brand that I want to lead with. And I think it was CJ Quinney, and he's part of ET's team, and he says the one thing that comes easy for you that's difficult for most, and that's what I had to lean into. As matter of fact, he was like one of the first ones that believed in me when I wanted to use my name, Keisha the electrician. He I was encouraged by some others that I shouldn't use it, said that it was, too much of a gimmick, of a niche, all of these different things. And when I asked him about it, he asked me, "How did you feel?" And I said, "I feel like I'm not talking about being an electrician. It's like me disowning one of my children because I have been an electrician for 30 years. It's a part of me, it's who I am." He said, "Well, don't listen to other people because nobody can tell your story like you." So he was the first one to believe in me. And from that point on, I started to believe in myself more. And, I started to own my name. You see, even more so, let me take this off the screen right here so you guys can see it. I got it on my shirt, right? I got Keisha the electrician, got shirts made. My son has his own t-shirt business. So I got it on my shirt. Um, and now I wear it every day. It's my brand. So yeah, I'm Keisha the electrician. And when he told me that, he was like, "I don't want to hear no more about it. From this point forward, that's who you are." And I was like, he believed it, so I had to believe it too. And then let's see here. Ooh, number 5. Number 5 was energy management for my business. Ooh, I undervalue my time and my services. Time is a speaker's currency. Thinking about the things that I'm willing to pay for as opposed to what I charge, I had to think about that. What am I willing to sacrifice in order to give up my time? So let's just take cutting my grass. I'm not going to get out there and cut my grass because I feel like my time is more valuable than that. And I'm not saying anything bad about landscapers. I think they do a phenomenal job. But the thing is, it takes them a lot less time than what it takes me. They can get out here in 20 to 30 minutes and have a whole yard looking like it'll take me all day. So why would I spend all day doing something like that when I can pay someone else to do it? So it's more so about me just thinking about what my time was worth and the services that I can provide to people in that time. So when you become an entrepreneur, think about those 5 things. So let me recap them for you real quick here. So the first one was entrepreneurship and mindset, pricing and self-worth, owning your advantage, brand building and alignment, and energy management for business owners. So those are the top 5 tips that I have for you guys. You guys know I'm not going to be here long. I'm doing these episodes just a little bit shorter now, unless I have a guest, because nobody, I don't want to listen to myself talk for an hour. I'm not even one of those people that could. I try to just keep it short and sweet. So, like I said, once again, this is episode 50 of Alpha Intuition, 5 mistakes that I made when I became an entrepreneur. And I just want to thank you guys for rocking with me for 50 episodes. It's been a long journey, but I look forward to 50 more. 50 is actually, I'm 51 years old, so I look forward to 50 more years if the Lord says that that's possible. So if that's what he wants and then it's in my plan, then hopefully, I'll be on this earth for 50 more years. But I look forward to doing 50 more episodes and beyond. I'm not giving up. There are times where I felt like quitting. There are times where I felt like I didn't want to do another episode. Like even this morning, I started late. It was like, oh my gosh, it's past 6 o'clock. Y'all know I try to be on here every Saturday at 6 a.m. And sometimes things happen. It didn't work out like that this morning, but I still didn't give up. I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to wait and I'm just going to launch it at 7 o'clock. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me. And if you are ready to become the CEO of your life, just know I'm going to put it down in the chat there or in the comments to where you guys can go ahead and book your free 15-minute clarity call, and I can help you to become the CEO of your life. So once again, I'm going to tell you guys, this is your first time rocking with me. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, and don't forget to share this with somebody that you think it may encourage them to keep climbing. So the journey to the top of any mountain begins with one single step. Don't stop, keep climbing, and I'll see you guys at the top. Y'all keep that energy. Peace.